Welcome back to 2 p.m. of the Trigger. Rich Bontrager with you once again, streaming live on multiple channels each and every day to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, to elevate you and your brand authority. And we always love you to join in the conversation. So feel free to use the chat, share your thoughts, ask your questions, and be a part of today's 2 p.m. live. The writer's strike is now 4 months old. The director's strike, 4 months old. The actor's strike. Hollywood is in a shutdown, and they're beginning to make changes that we, the viewers, are going to start noticing more and more of it. And I'm seeing it happen on the news. I'm seeing it happen on some of their shows. And we all know reality shows are going to come out of everywhere now. They're going to be absolutely reality show after reality show after reality show. Why? Because they don't need script writers. They don't need some of the things that other shows do. And according to SAG, which really kind of governs this, you have to have certain things in place and approved, and that's why it's all logjam right now. So reality shows is one of the ways they're going to solve it. But another one is repurposing past content to keep their shows and their viewership alive and fill the day. Think about that. Do you have a podcast? Do you have your own show? It's hard sometimes to fill the guest slots, get people to come on, to have it pre-booked out all the way, especially if you have a show that have different elements. You may have a live interview section. You may have a fun game show or a Q&A section, but often we're putting different elements into our shows to make them more engaging and more, fun for everyone. We try to do that with Rock to Stage, with our different events that we do when we partner with people, when we do that. But right now, what do you do if you don't have all your show elements ready to go? What are you going to do? Are you going to panic? Are you going to cancel the show? Well, take a note from what was going on in Hollywood. They are grabbing old content and shows, interviews, and editing them and putting in as repurposed content to fill it. And I saw it several times already this week with the CBS morning block that they have with the news. It's live. And just for one example, they took a past episode of when they have an expert on to talk about toys and gadgets and holiday sales and things like that. Okay. They have this market piece where they have a marketing expert come in and they talk about the different products that might be good for you to have, the specials they offer, and click and scan and go get it. What they did was they went back several months and pulled a clip, not the whole portion of it. They pulled a clip talking about these wood baseball tumblers. The tumblers, the drinking cups, are made out of wood, branded by different teams, and they put that in as today's new special to go learn about. Now, they didn't say it was really recorded today. They didn't say it was recorded previously or on a past show. They just put it in and let you extrapolate, oh, this is new. This is great. That's one way of repurposing content. Take something that you've already used and drop it in to one of your show segments and just treat it as if it's new content. Content is content is content. You don't always have to declare, we did this was on a previous episode. Well, that is a good technique. If you're having trouble creating content, if you're having trouble keeping the calendar full, intentionally go search out your database of different shows, go through your history. Today's show is going to be on XYZ topic. Go find a past show that dealt with XYZ, the very same items. During your show, highlight the new material you have a little bit and take a pause. Hey, when we did this same topic 2 years ago, here were some of the things we learned with our guest, Ted. And you bring that clip on and it fills your show with past information. Come back from the clip and go, that was then, this is now. What's changed since then? Let's talk about the change in the growth of the industry, what we learned then, and now here's some new tips. It gives you content to fill, is still interesting and valuable, and you don't have to always create something new, because you will burn out. Now, I'm also seeing that the repurposed content is even coming into those interview segments on some of these talk shows. So you can just rebroadcast a past episode. If you have a week where you cannot get someone to be on your podcast, your live streaming show like I do every week, why not just pull out one from the archives and say, by popular demand, one of the best shows we had on Rock the Stage, label it that way, promote it as such an amazing content. If you missed it the first time, check it out now. You have a show filled in its entirety, and you're still providing great content. The thing about repurposing content is no one sees your content in its whole every day, all the time. There are always people that follow you, that like you, that subscribe to your newsletters, that just don't catch all your stuff because there's so much other noise and clutter out there. And yet, as creators and as media hosts, we sometimes believe we've did that, we've done that, we just leave it alone. We don't need to do it again. That's not true at all. One of the greatest things about repurposing the content, like Hollywood is doing right now, is it gives you a fresh chance to go back in. Especially if you do that idea of an old content show and you're going to talk about the new version, the new learning lessons. Have the same guests come back for a mini segment, not the whole segment. Have them come back and say, that's what you said then. Bring in a different guest and have that different guest talk about, oh, I understand what Ted was saying there, but really today, some of Ted's ideas might be a little bit outdated, or here's a new thing we've learned. You can add more value by leveraging all of that and make it very engaging for everybody. Hollywood is going to hit the wall, though, pretty soon because they're running out of ideas for all their different shows. I was talking to a producer today, and they were discussing with me some of the problems with that CBS morning show they have. It's a 2-hour block of continuous news, information, interviews, and, of course, how many times can you do the weather in a 2-hour broadcast? Dan, great to have you drop on in. Love to see the engagement here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the support, by the way, of pushing out and sharing what we're doing here at 2 p.m. But now we got to think about, they have a 2-hour block of time. So can you sustain a 2-hour block of time when you can't interview actors? You can't go behind the scenes of new movies, new TV shows. Right now is the fall. The fall is the kickoff for all the new media, for all the new shows. There's always a big push. And these new journalism interview talk shows are dying every day because they don't have anything to go with. What if you cut your show back to 2 hours, to 1 hour? Is that going to hurt your brand, or is it going to make your brand sharper because instead of trying to bleed it out, you make it a 1 hour show? These are the things that Hollywood is really going to start struggling with. And I'm sure we do as content creators all the time. Another way to repurpose content would be to literally put them on replay. I've shared this before, but I'll do it again. So every week I do 5 2 p.m. lives. So at 2 p.m. Eastern time, you see me right here streaming live on LinkedIn, 2 Facebook pages, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Every day we're here to help you shine on camera and shine on stage. Then I have How to Rock the Stage show coming up tonight. We have a great guest, by the way, and we should mention we are going to be talking tonight with, actually, it's Chris Chavez. I got to check that graphic. We didn't prove that. It's Chris Chavez. But we are going to be talking about the importance of YouTube and YouTube branding, how to leverage YouTube tonight, because video is powerful and you should leverage it. So I do every week 6 different shows just for our own company. So on Saturdays, I take these shows, I put them back in, plug them back in through Restream that I use, and I do replay Saturdays. I slap a new cover on top of that, and then starting around 1 o'clock, the first replay plays. The second replay is 1:30. The third is, you got it, 2 o'clock. And I fill out my Saturday, not on the same channel here. I have 2 LinkedIn pages, one for what we do, and then one for the business, only business. I save the replays for the business page and put them into the business play as replay shows. It helps the analytics on LinkedIn. LinkedIn likes when you do new content on different pages. It helps the viewers. Again, they missed it earlier in the week. Now you can check it out on Saturdays and watch a replay if you want. I'm not always creating new content, but we are creating different ways to leverage the content we always have. Think about how you can take what you have. On my YouTube channel, we have a feature called Sound Bites. We take a little soundbite out of different shows when one of the guests says something really powerful, really amazing. That's a standalone segment of content out of something we've already done. And now we're making a mini nugget, minute and a half show that's on YouTube. That's an exclusive YouTube feature and part of what we do at Rock to Stage. How can you do that? What can you do to repurpose things to keep you fresh, keep you relevant, keep you pulling more people into that? The number one reason that people stop doing podcasts, the number one reason why they give up on their streaming shows and their video content is the work, the time, the energy. They always bring new. 80% of all podcasts do not make it to 10 episodes because they realize my hobby and my fun went to being a work in a job, and it's hard to do it and sustain it. Repurposing content will save you that. Intentionally create a repurpose plan. Come up with a way to say, we know we're going to have this show here. We're going to take 2 excerpts out of that show. We're going to save it for a couple of weeks, put it back up again. Maybe save it for a month, put it back out. What if you do a repurpose holiday show? We see this every year on TV. These shows are called like the bucket show. They're a closed show where they do flashbacks to past episodes. And the show brings you up to date on what's happened with your NCIS team or other shows. They're in the can. They save money, budget, time, and the production editor just needs to go in and edit, put them together, add a couple new little pieces, and you have a holiday special where they're sitting around the campfire, sitting around the stove, going over memories of that year. Think about how you can leverage your media and do things like that. Learn the lessons from Hollywood, because we're going to see a lot more of that that's coming up now because of the Hollywood strike. Pay attention. You may be a solopreneur. You might be creating your media empire and growing things, and you've got multiple cameras and tools all going on. Leverage what you have, but learn from what's going on right now. One of the biggest things you can learn is the power of repurpose through the lens of Hollywood. Got any questions on this? Drop me a line, rich@richbontrigger.net. We would love to talk with you, answer your questions, help you shine on camera, shine on stage, and elevate your brand authority. Creating worthy content, or creating ongoing content, is a never-ending battle. Let us help you. Drop me a line, rich@richbontrigger.net. Hey, until then, we'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And again, Chris Chavez joins us, and we're going to talk about the importance of YouTube and your brand. We'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern time for How to Rock the Stage.